Alright, got my water. And got the game loaded up. We're ready to go. The map. Shelby Circuit Breakers. Let's go ahead and update that score. And we have BisuDagger versus whaski. It's a random name, but I like it. I like being able to say whaski. And whaski is going to be our Terran player at, I'll say the 7. Spawning as the lovely yellow's color. And BisuDagger, our red Protoss, in the bottom right hand corner. And let's see, gotta move those over a bit. Should be able to see the mineral counts now. Cool stuff. So, BisuDagger, he's a cool guy. He does some awesome, awesome shows and awesome casts. So if you haven't seen those before, you should check him out for sure. I believe he is Twitch TV / BisuDagger, just like his name with no spaces, I think. But I don't think he gets around to playing too much, so we'll have to see what he gets up to in this game. On the other hand, whaski I've never heard of, and actually I think I bolded his name for some reason. Let me just fix that. Bolded it and underlined it. I don't know what the heck was going on with that one. So, whaski, he's doing the standard thing. He's not going to rack expand or anything. And BisuDagger, he's going to get unlucky, scouting his opponent last most likely, unless he sends out a second probe scout. His gas up now. He's actually cut some probes, I think, to get everything out this fast. But that's going to be okay, as he's now saturating his gas, as well as whaski. Now, the map Circuit Breakers, they spawned in horizontal positions, and this is really going to favor the Terran, I think. As I'll just go ahead and reveal the map, I think, right now. So normally, say if your opponent was in the top left and your Terran in the bottom left, you'd have to push across here and all the shenanigans. You leave yourself really open to being flanked in the middle of the map. But in this case, he's going to have this nice little push path, and he can even take his expansion here and here all the time, or all the while he'll be pushing into his opponent's base, which could work out very well for him. These are the high ground pods right outside of your potential thirds. Definitely a map feature to look out for, as it could come into play for certain. BisuDagger looks like he's going for the standard thing, which is to get 2 gateways. You see a lot of Protosses at the lower ranks doing that, and it's very safe. Leaves you feeling nice and warm and snug, like your mommy just tucked you right into bed, because nothing's gonna kill you. And meantime, looks like he's putting his SUs back on gas. I think this is just gonna be an FD from whaski here. BisuDagger finally does come in with his probe, and looks like it's going to die before it gets too much information. Only seeing 3 Marines at the top of the ramp, though, so he's probably going to assume that his opponent's got gas. It's got a factory doing something. In the meantime, whaski still has no idea what his opponent's doing, but he does know where his opponent is, so that's going to be a great help. BisuDagger, I'm a little bit concerned here. His range is very, very late, and he's banked a lot of gas. And like I said before, you know, if you're going to expand at the 2 gate, I believe you only need 2 guys on gas to get constant goon production after you get that range, that is. And but not quite optimal there for BisuDagger. Looks like the SCV actually going to get into the base entirely, even though it definitely shouldn't have. And he's going to see the 2 gates. He's going to see not that many Dragoons, though, and no other tech. So there could be tech behind this, but most likely his opponent's just pumping 2 gate goons and is going to expand behind this. So if I'm whaski, I'm looking to not do too much with my FD against the 2 gate, like that. Although in this instance, if he does do a push, BisuDagger's range just now starting. Very, very dangerous for BisuDagger. If whaski does decide to push, it could be very punishing, and he could do a lot of damage. But I think here whaski is just gonna be content to sit in his base. This SimCity here messing up his vulture a bit. It doesn't look like it can escape, as it wants to plant some mines out there, I think. Yeah, and whaski's just playing completely defensively. He has no idea that his opponent doesn't have range yet, and so this is going to turn out okay for BisuDagger. All's well that ends well, and looks like he's going to just lay a couple mines. His expansion about halfway done now, and BisuDagger, he's looking to get somewhat of a contain on his opponent. I'm not quite sure. He's left some Dragoons behind as well. He doesn't really know what his opponent's doing, so he's definitely playing it very safe. His expansion now coming up, just barely started though, and the Terran definitely ahead in expansion timing here. BisuDagger built a lot of Dragoons off his 2 gateways, so that's to be expected. Now he's going to have to do you know, one of two things. He's going to have to do some sort of damage with an early attack, or he's going to have to take a really quick third, which is the most typical response from a Protoss when the Terran out-expands him or comes very close to expanding at the same time. And most likely what we will see BisuDagger do. He is getting his robotics facility, probably just for the observers. And from here, I'm hoping to see, oh, he's actually going to add more gateways. At least one more. And that's going to be a bit unfortunate for him. He's definitely going to have to do some damage now. His opponent's not looking to do anything too aggressive. I don't know. I don't know what those SCVs are doing. Don't even ask me. But it looks like he does finally lift that barracks, which I think was mannering his tanks a bit. He's got his engineering bay up. This is a very common build, siege expand into a quick engineering bay. Hopefully he'll get a good turret ring going. Looks like he's got a decent one here. I would like to see it a little bit more to the left, as observer will easily be able to slip in through this area here. It might be able to slip in here as well, but it's not going to be too bad. He's now getting his academy as well, and actually I think that manners his comsat. Yeah, I think it does. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's fine. You know, no, it definitely isn't fine. Because you can see, yeah, it would be flush with this depot right here. So he's managed his comsat with that academy, which is going to be unfortunate because the academy is the building that allows you to build a comsat. So it's not like you can kill it off and then, or build the comsat beforehand and then kill it off or anything. It's going to be unfortunate for him. BisuDagger, he's moving a lot of probes over. His probe saturation is pretty dang good at this point. He's banked a lot of gas, so I'd like to see him get some pretty early tech. On the other hand, whaski, he's got a vulture here at this potential third location. He's got a decent mine and another decent mine. He's definitely keeping track of where BisuDagger's army could be, and any sort of move out or expansion by BisuDagger is going to definitely be noted by whaski. BisuDagger, on the other hand, he's got these 3 Dragoons just hanging out pretty much all game now, and not doing too much, but you know, they're keeping an eye on that double bridge. And observer speed, actually, right? That's speed. Pretty sure that's speed. Very interesting. Very early from BisuDagger. I'm not quite sure why. And yes, very tragic. He is having to kill off that academy. It's just a waste of 150 minerals and all that build time for the SCV. But what's done is done. Looks like an armory coming up and a starport for whaski. So he's gone 3 factory, starport, armory. Sort of a weird build. I'm not really quite sure how optimal it is. Looks like BisuDagger, one vulture trying to come in and see what's going on, almost gets up that ramp. But he does have comsat, at least one, so he shouldn't be too much in the dark. Looks like BisuDagger looking to put more of a contain on his opponent. It's waltzing across the map. He actually got kind of lucky there was no mines out on the map. whaski definitely had the opportunity to put a lot of mines out there. And BisuDagger, let's see, if he gets some good speed cells, he could put a lot of aggression on right now. As there's no SimCity, very few mines, but it looks like BisuDagger does not have any zealots at the moment, and no citadel either, so won't be able to take advantage of that. But just very open. There wasn't as many mines before. He just laid a couple more, and definitely was an opportunity there. Whaski, he wants to move out with these vultures, I think, and maybe do a little bit of a backstab into BisuDagger's main. BisuDagger, he's banking quite a bit of money. We'd like to see him expand, and there's that citadel. And once he gets the leg speed, he can really start putting on aggression. It also helps stop the push from the Terran a lot. And in the background here, we got Whaski. It looks like he's building his command center finally. He wants to take his mineral base, it looks like. And again, this is going to be very good. Very good for him. He's going to be able to just hold this area with a couple, turrets, some mines, a few siege tanks, and then just sort of push along this path and defend while he's attacking, which is ideal. Very, very ideal for him. BisuDagger creating this great line. Oh, this is adorable. Look at this. Look at that. He's got 3 pylons, building, 3 pylons, building, 3 pylons. Well, there's only 2 at the moment. That's pretty freaking awesome. I love it. I love the building placement. He's got 5 gates, moving up to 6. I don't know if adorable is quite the word, but I like it. Anyway, looks like nothing looking to happen anytime soon. BisuDagger actually is going to take this base, and I really don't like this. One thing you can say about taking this base is at least you can mine it while you can, right? Before the Terran pushes and really takes it, as the Terran most likely will be able to. But at the same time, it's just so close to his opponent. It's rather long where his opponent would ideally want to attack. I don't like it. And actually, it looks like I almost missed a drop here. 3 vultures coming in, and I don't think they have any kills yet. Actually, Probe destroying 1 vulture, and looks like they're going to get a couple of kills. But BisuDagger is going to ward this off without too much more damage. And not bad there, not bad by BisuDagger. He got lucky, I think. I'm not quite sure. He might have had some goons stationed in his main, which is very smart. And he might have just had some spawning out of the gateways. I'm not entirely sure. Looks like there is another dropship, or it's the same one, for Whaski. And he is getting his EMP, but not any science vessels just yet. And on the other hand, BisuDagger, he hasn't really invested in any tech, really. He's going for that very heavy gateway style, much like Deuce did. I would like to see him put down a few more gates if he's not going to invest in a lot of tech, especially because he's getting his mineral only. Very good thing to do is to get an early expansion with those extra minerals, and to get a lot of gateways. So you can pump a lot of zealots, all that good stuff. Looks like Whaski here, he wants to move in with these vultures, but there's already some goons here. Cannon coming up as well. He could have actually killed the cannon, but it's not a huge deal. And BisuDagger, he doesn't have any upgrades yet. He is getting his forge now, though. And looks like Whaski, his +1 attack is about 80% of the way done, and he's getting his armor as well. So those upgrades coming along fairly nicely, but not too great. Looks like he only has 5 factories, and it would be cool to see him add more, as he is moving out to take his mineral-only base. All those extra minerals, what do you want to do with those? Definitely want to pump a lot of vultures. So his tank count might be a bit low, but really spam the map with vultures, move around. And it's very good for him, too, that BisuDagger hasn't pushed too far up to really take control of this double bridge, as he is able to sneak vultures out for the time being. On the other hand, let's see, BisuDagger, how is his tech coming? He's adding a good number more gates. He's actually going 2 star gates. Where is his archives, though? 2 stargates, but no archives. Is he going carriers? I think BisuDagger's going carriers here. I'm feeling it. Feeling the carriers, bro. I'm with you on this one. On the other hand, we'll have to wait to see what he ends up doing. Whaski, he's getting a science vessel. Looks like he's getting science vessel energy as well. His +1 attack is finished, and hasn't quite started the upgrades yet for his +2 attack, but we'll probably be seeing those fairly soon. He's got a decent number of vultures out, and it looks like he's expecting BisuDagger to have taken this base, and I would have liked to see him take it too. But for the time being, there is nothing there, and these vultures just sort of hanging out. Looks like BisuDagger's observer does see it, And he's going to be able to move out some Dragoons to just sort of clear out that area, though it looks like whaski doesn't have any mines left, I don't think, in these vultures, so he isn't able to lay down a mine to block it. Interesting. Actually, a dropship coming in, and BisuDagger's rally, though, is right there next to his natural, so I don't think these vultures are going to do too much damage if he does decide to drop them in the natural. Looks like, interesting, just pushing out just a little bit at a time. He's finally now saturating his mineral base, and BisuDagger happily manning away at his own mineral only, and actually adding some gates here too, making use of that extra space. And now it looks like he's actually not going to go carriers like I thought he might be, but is instead going to go for those arbiters. Arbiters pretty dang good. Stasis very useful. Looks like we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gateways or so for BisuDagger now, and that's going to be good for him. He's definitely going to be able to reinforce his pushes very soon. But it looks like whaski here, he loses track of some tanks here. Now he's going to lose about 6 tanks, I think, and more tanks in the background. They're being forced to retreat. They're not in siege mode, and if BisuDagger continues to stream in units up this high ground pod, it could be very good. But looks like he's sacrificing a lot of Dragoons at this double bridge, and now BisuDagger's pulling back at this point. It wasn't a terrible exchange. He did take down a good number of siege tanks, but in return he lost a good number of Dragoons, which if he had pulled back just a little bit sooner, it definitely would have been an excellent trade for him. And looks like whaski here, he might be looking to take the 6 o'clock base, and that's going to put BisuDagger's expansion in a lot of peril. Looks like these vultures here, they want to move out to plant some mines out on the map, but BisuDagger not letting this happen. And he's going to retain control of this high ground pod. So this is going to be a good launch point. If he can get some more zealots over, he can definitely come in and sweep into this base. As actually the command center is finished to float down to that 6 o'clock. Now BisuDagger, he really needs to expand. I know he's got a lot banked, but he definitely wants a bigger economy now. And he has the money to do it, and he has the map control as well. So looks like recall first, it looks like, from BisuDagger. And he's got those speed observers, so he's going to be able to scout out his opponent fairly easily. Looks like we got 2 science vessels with energy to EMP, but not in a position to really stop any recalls. And a recall along this south edge is potentially pretty good. Actually, there's actually unrallied science vessel hanging down there at the bottom as well. And BisuDagger, he's moved a bunch of Dragoons over to stop these vultures from killing his probe. And he's going to be looking to take this base. I really hope he goes ahead and just takes this base and this base as well. Just boom, boom, knock him out. And start building some gates up there too if he can. In the meantime, I hope this goon doesn't block stuff. It doesn't look like it's actually in a position to do so. BisuDagger, he's got his first arbiter out, it looks like. And it's just building up energy at this point. He did go for recall first. So he's going to have to get up to 150 energy before he's able to do anything with it. And that's a bit dangerous if the Terran did do some sort of push in the meantime. But whaski here, he's content to just hang out. He's got a 6 o'clock base. He's in a pretty damn good position. Actually, ooh, I don't like this. He sieged his tanks on a lot of spatter mines. And this is potentially just Terran tiers just all over the place. If any zealots get up in here, I mean, just boom, all the tanks go right there. Especially when they're splashing each other on the zealots anyway. So potentially very dangerous for whaski. But we'll have to see. It might not end up meaning anything. And he's got some decent SimCity down here at a 6 o'clock. I really like this, except one thing is that it would be ideal, I think, for him to push out this way too, right into his Protoss opponent. And his SimCity, he's going to have to destroy it in order to actually move up there. So it's a little bit of a downside, but he is playing it very safe. And it looks like, yes, this arbiter actually did move out onto the map. He's getting stasis now, so he has recall already. Getting stasis. He's still a ways away, though, from getting that stasis energy. And, or excuse me, recall energy. And looks like whaski is actually looking to move out here. He's almost maxed. BisuDagger, on the other hand, is maxed. And, yeah, I'd like to see him just plop down some more expansions again. He's already maxed. What else is he going to spend that money on? He's already at 5k banked. And this is going to be the critical moment here. He's letting the Terran get maxed too. So their army count's going to be fairly equal, but Terran here having to commit a lot to defending the 6 o'clock base. Relatively speaking, 5 siege tanks in a big battle could make a huge difference, especially depending on how long the battle lasts. So BisuDagger should have a fair advantage just in numbers in this initial push, and actually looking at it, he might be able to just sort of take out these forces if he moved in while they're not supported by the tanks in the back. Lots of mines getting laid down in the middle of the map. This is important. You need a lot of mines to be laid down on circuit breakers because there's just no natural choke points. It's very hard to control that middle of the map, and one way to do that is a lot of mines. And so that's pretty smart play by him. BisuDagger, he does manage to ward away that vulture. And these arbiters, it looks like they have stasis now. And he got that recall first, but then just didn't recall. I don't know if he poked around with his observers and just didn't feel like the time was opportune for a recall. But it looks like BisuDagger, he might be getting drawn into a fight here. And there's no mines protecting his forces, but whaski here is in a pretty good position because BisuDagger has almost no zealots. He's largely Dragoon force, and oh man, that's terrible. His arbiters do get EMP'd, and BisuDagger here forced to retreat, but losing a bit of his army in the mayhem, and only getting that one stasis off on a single tank. And whaski here taking the fight very handily. He's at 174 supply to BisuDagger's 144. He is, I think, starting to macro out of all of his gates now, but it's not looking good for BisuDagger. Freaking like McDonald's colors on the mini map here. But yeah, he's going to be in a bit of spot of bother, as with whaski here, he's just free to move across the map. Really put pressure on BisuDagger's expansions, and it looks like BisuDagger here, this is the moment here, because BisuDagger's now mined out his natural and his main. He's got that mineral only base, and he's about to lose this base as well. He'll most likely lose the top right as well, because his army deficit is just huge. The Terran's actually maxed right now, and BisuDagger's still sitting back at 160 supply. Looks like he's trying to move in. He does have enough energy for a stasis if he can get it off, and looks like though his forces, he still just doesn't have enough zealots. His zealot count is extremely low, and these dragoons just getting melted by the massive number of tanks by his opponent. And look at how many vultures whaski has here. It's not very many. I think he actually attacked his own vulture, I think. And the mine's not laid in an optimal position either. Vulture's potential to do a lot of damage here, but of course BisuDagger just doesn't have very many of them. He continues to pump a lot of dragoons, and he's definitely going to lose this base. And I think he lost a good number of probes at it as well. And he's managed to hold on to this top right for now, but a little strike force from whaski looking to move and take that out. And actually whaski here, he's doing a dual-pronged attack. He's got some forces down at the south end of the map looking to shut down BisuDagger's mineral only, and this is basically his only mining base. He's got a large bank, but he's got no income now, so he's definitely running on a time clock here. In the meantime, whaski, he doesn't have very good SCV saturation here at his 6 o'clock base, but he has mined out his natural and his main for the most part. So he's running low on money himself. BisuDagger actually gets down some really good stasises here, and some decent defense matrices come down as well. That's just going to help him trade a little bit more efficiently with BisuDagger's army. But BisuDagger, again, I think suffering from a lack of zealots here, as he does stream in a good number now, and he's going to manage to clean up this force. He's got to immediately retake that expansion, and down at the south end, he's managed to delay the push from the Terran a little bit. I think perhaps taxing his opponent's micro just a little, and yeah, BisuDagger here, he's in a decent position now, but his bank is rapidly running out. He's got almost no gas. He really wants to afford some more arbiters and really tech into High Templars as well. They can be extremely useful in the late game, and as the Terran units just generally plump up a lot. Siege Tank AI, their pathing AI, is pretty dang good. They stay together very well, unlike Dragoons, which can get very spread out as their pathing is so terrible. And looks like here BisuDagger, he didn't have any probes here, so he's not going to lose too much from that vulture harass. But down at the south end, he is pushing back the Terran a little bit. He might be able to save this Nexus for a little while longer, but it's definitely getting very hairy. He doesn't have a lot of forces, and his gateway is actually mannering him a little bit. He's got a very small choke to funnel through, and looks like the Arbiter, is he going in for a stasis? Is he going to stasis the tanks? Oh, he misses the stasis a little bit. I think he might have been able to get both tanks. Would have been close, though. He does get the forward tank, which was already weak, and he's going to move in to try and ward away this Terran attack, but I'm not sure how well it's going to go for him. In the meantime, this Arbiter actually is going to take down a science vessel. Looks like whaski here, he's streaming in some more vultures from the back, and BisuDagger here, I don't think he's going to be able to hold this base much longer. He really needs to get this base going and transfer these probes out immediately. He does not want to have to rebuild these probes. Just run them now, man. You can't hold this base any longer. This is what I was talking about too. This is the vulnerability of taking this this base and the vulnerability of spawning in these positions. I mean, horizontal positions, TVP, and Terran's going to love that shit all day long. And it looks like vultures coming in to try and harass the top right, but BisuDagger, he has built a pylon wall now, getting some cannons behind it as well, and I think he will be able to hold this top right, but he's losing his south mineral only base here. And whaski, looking at the supplies, he's at 150 to BisuDagger's 100. BisuDagger's playing this sort of like a Zerg player, just barely holding on, down in the supply count, and just having to play very efficiently, very smart to just stay in the game. But just barely holding in there. And looks like he's getting a couple more Arbiters. Does he have Arbiter energy? No, he does not. Not yet. And it looks like whaski here, he's moving in to try and take out that top right. Now, if these Zealots can take down the siege tanks, it looks like they can't. But if he could have, managed to hold on this base for just a little bit while longer. But it looks like this base actually is completely open for the most part. But whaski now realizing the situation here, as BisuDagger desperately trying to defend his south mineral only base, but he's just not able to hold on. And whaski here, he's very low on the money. What happened to all of his SCVs? Did I miss something? I must have missed something. Well, I don't know. I feel like he had more SCVs than this, but maybe I didn't. I think these just transferred over now. But yeah, okay, we're good. He didn't lose any SCVs, but he's mined out, and he's almost mined out here as well very soon. He needs to look to secure another base to really cement this this victory for him, as I don't think BisuDagger can recover from this. He's very far behind. His gateways are about to be sieged down by the Terran. He's got almost nothing hanging out in his main. He's got a good number of Arbiters, so he can continue to stasis just like everything like he was before. Actually, whaski's not building any Goliaths. There's a couple Goliaths now coming over, but it'd be funny if he took like a ton of tanks out with the Arbiters. Of course, the Arbiters do 10 damage, and I'm pretty sure it's explosive, so to large units they do like 5 damage. It's like insane how bad the Arbiter DPS is. As BisuDagger, he's losing a couple Zealots here to whaski. He really wants to preserve his forces, I think, if he can, and just sort of evacuate them to the top right. He might be able to hold on if he can just hold on to that top right base, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. As whaski here, he's got some good mines on BisuDagger's gateways in his main, and most BisuDagger can hope from here is to just keep building some Arbiters and then evac them eventually, as he does up to 3 Arbiters just sort of poking away at those siege tanks. And whaski now, he's moving out. He's got a single siege tank and some vultures over here to support. He's probably going to be able to take down this Nexus, and I don't think there's much BisuDagger can do to stop him. BisuDagger, yeah, he's got nothing here, man. I think this is game. It's just a matter of time before he admits it. And these Arbiters doing battle with these Goliaths. 5 damage a shot, baby. Oh yeah. I think he lost 2 to that single Goliath. And yeah, this base now completely out of probes. Looks like I think BisuDagger actually tried to evacuate them out of there, but was unsuccessful. 3 observers actually hanging out here. They're getting some great angles of all the destruction and death. And yeah, just mopping up this game for whaski here. BisuDagger getting some decent stasises down. That is the one thing he has going for him, as he stasises a couple of his probes. But yeah, we're just sort of waiting it out. whaski actually got up to 3-3 attack. I didn't keep quite track of that as it went on. So his mech heavily upgraded. BisuDagger, on the other hand, I don't know if he even has a single attack upgrade. Of course, he doesn't have any units for me to check. So I think he might have one. He had his forge there for a while, but I don't think he has +2 at all. So whaski, he's just cleaning up the last of these probes in the top right. This gateway is actually unpowered, so BisuDagger can't even build any more land units. He just has these arbiters. The arbiter dream. They're gonna win this game. Stasis the probes, dude. You gotta save them. Save them in the stasis. They can't die, right? And yeah. It was well played, well fought by BisuDagger. I think the only thing, he got a decent advantage in the mid game, I think, but he just needed to expand earlier. I think that was his problem. And he just didn't have that top right economy, and didn't have the gateways up there to really reinforce his push instantaneously after it got slaughtered in the middle. And the other thing too is that he had a low number of zealots. I feel like if he had upped that zealot count a little bit, had a few less dragoons, that he really would have been able to push the Terran back. But what's done is done. So looks like AFK does manage to take a match off of DeSPA.